Come sit by me with Bunny and Sharon this morning. We're going to talk about being in the present, being where your feet are. And that's so exciting to me because I don't do that very well. My mind is always all over the place.
Why?
Why?
No, you can't look at it.
I can't look at it because I'm not good at staying out of the future or going to the past. I'm better today than I used to be, most definitely, of being where I am. But man, my mind.
It wanders. We wander. It's like, you know, when you go into a mall and you see that map and that map says, you are here.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to do that in my brain all the time because although back there, there's lessons learned, some good, not so good. And what's ahead of me, I only can have positive goals and aspirations. What I want to focus on is right here, right now, because really and truly, is that all we have?
Yeah.
Because we don't know if we have the opportunity to wake up tomorrow morning.
That's true.
So to me, I think it's important to let's stay here. Let's make those decisions here. Can we change what happened back there? No. Do we wish we could change?
Mm-hmm.
Some of it, right?
Just a quick question. I missed the topic. What's the topic again?
Staying in the moment, staying in the present.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes for me, when I think back on my
I know.
When I think back on my past, I want to reflect on the good things, but does that always happen? Usually we think back and we think of all the crap that we went through. And sometimes for me, that I start thinking about that crap and I start thinking about my regret and my mistakes and everything. And I start feeling like I'm back there.
Mm-hmm.
And my heart starts beating and I start getting into this mindset of what it was like back then when I was not happy, when I was still actively in my addiction and not in my recovery. Mm-hmm. And I start thinking about that and that changes my total focus.
Yeah.
So I have to redirect and I have to come right here. But what I like to pull on is those positive things. So when you think about something happy in your past, you start feeling that emotion. You start kind of going, you hear a song, or you have a taste, or you see somebody that was a positive person in your background, and that makes you happy.
Mm-hmm.
And you can feel that same emotion. Does it come easy? No, because the natural trajectory of our brain tends to go into that path of negativity. Do I have any input of what happens tomorrow? I have a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It's up to me what that's going to look like, but I don't have that much control as I think I have control. I only have control right now. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Damn. Be in the present. I just lost my train of thought.
Hold on, I'm going to read this because I got to read. I went to school for it. I learned how to read. So I'm going Okay, living in the present moment means letting go of the past and not waiting for the future. It means living our lives concisely, aware of each moment you breathe is a gift. The ability to be in the present moment is a major component of mental wellness. The past and the future are in the mind only. I am now. Wow. I am now. I like that too. See?
So you are smart.
Sometimes. Yes, sir.
What do you think about looking in the past? That could be a trigger.
Can be.
Yeah. What do you think?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Going back to our past.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
To me, it's a trigger.
Mm-hmm.
Because not only that I try to stay into that positive part of my past, you know, like I told you, you hear a happy song or a memory, and that makes you happy.
Right.
But you hear a certain song, and you go, "Oh, I remember when I heard that song. I remember that."
Mhm.
And then what happens? That brain starts spinning.
Yep.
And if we don't take control of what's going on in here, that thought process is going to be like a hamster wheel. It's going to go and go and go. And sometimes that happens. Like you think about when you wake up in the morning and your brain starts spinning. You start thinking about, what am I going to do today? How's the weather going to be today? You start thinking, so you let your mind wander. It's almost like your thought process is like if you're riding a bicycle or you're riding a car, driving a car. You sit in that driver's seat and you got to steer the car. You got to drive the car. You can't drive the car with your thoughts. So you take control of your thoughts like you were taking a ride on a bike or in a car, because that's the only thing we have control over is what's spinning in here. And it's our choice and gift every morning to decide what we want to spin, what we want to listen to, how we going to set our day. Nobody else has that control over me. Some people might think they have that kind of power over me, and it's my decision. I'm going to let you do that, or I'm just going to spin.
Well, you know, even with him saying something about the past and you talking about driving a car, you know, it's like my past is addiction, right?
Right.
And my mind, it will glorify the horrible things and make them seem like it's all right. You know, and then if I continue to dwell on the horrifying things and it's glorifying it would make me think that it wasn't so bad.
Right.
You know, and so that's a trigger for me. Because then it's gonna lead me to, well,
it wasn't all that bad.
Yeah. You know, and then
I can't control over that.
Start with that, but it'll be so much other stuff that I have to get to in order to actually pick it up, right? But then it'll start with the thought. You know, and if I keep pondering the thought in my head, eventually, you know, instead of telling somebody what's going on up here, eventually I keep it to myself, and eventually I've been picked up and used.
Yeah.
Right. You know, and when you say staring, you know, we're in the driver's seat and we do have control of this. You know, I know how they got a saying, they be saying, when you think you're in control, it's just an illusion. It is an illusion, but if you allow that illusion to take you back to your past, you know, you be steering your car somewhere else. Like, let me ride down through this neighborhood and see what they doing.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm just gonna ride by. Just gonna ride by.
Show them how good I'm doing.
Yeah, show how good I'm doing. You know, and then somebody gonna stop. I'm gonna see somebody and holler at them. They gonna stop and we gonna hold a conversation. Then I'm gonna go on, but then the next day I'm gonna come down through there again.
Let me see if they're back. They're still over there.
They still doing the same thing that when I left yesterday. But I bet they still doing the same thing when I left 20 years ago, and they still doing the same thing.
Right.
You know, it ain't nothing different. And eventually I'll be getting out my car, kind of hanging out with them for a minute.
Because that's where it all starts.
Yeah,
we all know that all starts back here, and it feeds and it feeds. And you almost have like this angel and devil on your shoulder. And sometimes you want to flip them off. But we know somewhere deep down, we've already made that conscious decision.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of things that are in our subconscious that arbitrarily just pops up. It's like, where did that thought come from? Where did that mood come from? Where did that reaction come from? We in recovery, whatever your recovery path is, when you're in wellness or you're not in wellness, there are still things that have happened in our life that is stored up in our unconscious mind. You kind of visualize that like an iceberg. You see the tip of the iceberg, but underneath it is gigantic.
Many times in my life, I've seen faces that I know they're familiar, but I have no reference of ever seen them.
Yeah.
You know, unless I'm reminded
Mhm.
and someone verifies that, okay, you've met them before.
Yeah.
I don't know where, when,
Exactly.
how, but I know them.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that it's kind of pathetic when you can't reference and you have to memories.
That is.
Yeah, if you have a whole bunch of, like I've always said, not always, but I've said it before, that I may have had a good day and don't even know.
Yeah.
And you had a bunch of good days
And you.
and you only remember suffering. That's
Yeah.
kind of pathetic.
Yeah.
Like, there's no reference or happy thing.
Yeah.
That's it.
Even if it was recent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I get that. Sometimes we go through a day and we
As
prepare.
well as what you referenced just now.
Yeah.
Not knowing like an association of that person, like what was my interaction with a certain person, and when am I still talking to them?
Yeah, and you try to pull that back in.
Open to a conversation with them,
Yeah.
knowing that, not knowing that something negative can happen regarding that person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's frustrating.
It is. We got, can you read those? Just say who we're on
I
here.
thought you said you could read.
I can't. Who's in the house today?
Pamela, Jane. I am not the feeling, I am the thought.
Ooh.
I am not the feeling, I am the thought.
Wow.
Because we're going to go in the direction that our brain takes us.
Mm-hmm.
If we are going to perpetuate, it's raining, it's a bad day. When something happens, it's because this is a bad day. I knew it was going to be a day like today. Do I have the reins of that? Or I can change that thought process completely. It's like I was saying before, like your iceberg, the tip, but the bottom part of that iceberg, huge, gigantic, is your unconscious brain. And those are things we store a lot of stuff, whether it's from a survival standpoint, a happy memory standpoint, stuff that we don't want to reference back again. Those are the things that just pop in your brain and go, where the hell did that come from?
Mm-hmm.
It's because our brains are magnificent, and it stores and it files stuff away that maybe it's something that we want it to protect us. But sometimes it bubbles out and we have to deal with it, because what happens the more we suffocate that feeling. It's that's
Something to say about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that goes off all the time.
Sometimes you're talking about the iceberg.
Mhm.
The largest part of the iceberg is usually like deep under the water.
Yeah.
And I want to say that like deep, like underneath all the layers, something extremely negative could be happening, but something extremely positive could also be happening. You just made reference to like not being able to, you kind of made reference to not being able to access certain things that have, for me, that have to do with PTSD, and that's an excellent thing.
Yeah.
Because who wants to remember some horrific things?
Exactly. Again, that's why our brain works.
Right, but then there's the flip side.
Yeah.
There's a building full of people that are hard at work, trying to coordinate like some major coordinating to bring something to fruition.
Mm-hmm.
Like some things are intricately coordinated.
Yeah.
To the left and also to the right. So I'm saying that some things are meant for my good, but other things is like an abstract painting.
Yeah. This is all.
And there's all kind of colors in it.
Mm-hmm.
And underneath, like within everything, there's like a color orange. And I hate that color really bad.
And what do you focus on? You focus on that color that you don't like.
Uh-huh.
It's like it's interconnected.
Exactly.
It's like an attempt to create this pattern or this painting that, if you look at it the wrong way, not necessarily the wrong way, but you can look at it from a certain perspective and you see something different.
Yeah.
But then maybe from one perspective it's all orange.
Yeah.
From another perspective there's some blue. You get what I'm saying?
I do, and that's a great point.
Done. it's like if there's some people to the left, they use, if they are aware of what is being done to the right, it's like they try to blend in.
Mhm.
They try to, I don't know how to explain it.
Well,
It's like you try to create the perception that it's all for your good,
yeah.
but it's not all for your good.
Yeah.
Like a lot of things could be happening at any given
And
time.
that's it. Go ahead. That's it.
That's what I'm talking about. Let's think of a day that you wake up and the sun is shining, the birds are singing. Maybe you stump your toe. You're going, okay, that's all right. Life is still good. And you have mishaps the rest of the day. It's okay. I'm still in a good mood. Let's say you wake up this morning and it's storming and it's nasty outside. You stump your toe.
Mhm.
That's it. That's all great. It's storming.
I'm going to work.
Exactly what I do. You get out to where you're driving or riding, and it's still prepared. Yeah, this is just going to be that kind of day.
Yeah.
But I have a choice. I could see good in today like today because that's my choice. Because every day it's a gift, and it's my decision to go. Is this going to be a good day? What can I pull? It may be a shitty, crappy day, but I still can lay down at night and go, I got to think of one. That's the way I want to go to sleep at night. I want to set my brain in the pattern that I go to sleep with a good heart. I have done what I needed to do. I am okay. If anything happens to me tonight, I wake up tomorrow morning, I'm still good.
Mhm.
So I've already set that stage because there again, I'm going to not let this spin. Because I know when this spins, sometimes it takes me into not nice places.
Patrick, what you
I
got?
was gonna say, for example, one of them taking the negative into a positive and keeping the day going. Like you said, you stuff your toe in the morning early and you're getting ready for work instead of your day. You spill your cup of coffee, anything like that. If you are starting to think negative, or a person who usually thinks negative, think, okay, well, let's say you have one bad thing happen per day or something, and you, depending on how severe it is,
Yeah,
you can say, well, that's my one thing that's gonna happen today.
right.
For the day. The rest of my day's gonna go smooth.
There you go.
That's beautiful.
It's our thoughts today. It's what like you said, it's what I choose my thoughts to be today. And I do have that power. There are only a few things I can control, but I do have that power. Yes, ma'am.
Well, it's the thing saying, I want to stub my toe today, but, and sometimes if you're having negative thoughts, it's hard to think of, where you were if you didn't have toes.
Right.
I hold on a second. Pamela says that's when I start using my RAP toolbox, wellness recovery action planning. We all get a choice exactly what we want to be in the present. RAP helps us stay where we are. How many of y'all have a RAP plan? Good deal. We'll do some more RAP here because wellness recovery action planning, that truly is how I can think about where I am and how to stay there.
I was thinking in reference to not being able to, in terms of not being able to reference certain things, certain like amazingly good things. I was thinking I've been depressed, like there has been underlying depression for me for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever heard the term assimilate? Like you assimilate with whatever, like whether it's something physical, something emotional, mental. I've been dealing with depression underlying everything for a long time. So I'm thinking in my situation that maybe has saved me.
And then,
Do you get what I'm saying?
even when you're going through something like that, you get through something like that and you look behind you and you pull out the lessons learned.
Yeah.
There's always
Nothing has to be wasted.
Right. We're not promised at life to be smooth and linear, and we all wake up on the right side of the bed, and
I'm positively calibrated.
Yeah.
That if it wasn't used to a certain thing, like certain feelings, not being able to reference happy memories would be a major problem for me.
Yeah.
But it's not, because I kind of assimilated to being depressed. So it's like. You get what I'm saying?
We have the ability to change the pathways in our brain. the trajectories in our brain. If we are, if we are always thinking negative, that's the path that we're always going to normally go to, is that negative. It takes work to think positive. It's, you don't wake up and automatically think about there's the bluebird of happiness and stuff. I have to rein mine in.
Yeah.
It's that our brains are channeled to go all the way to happy, joy, rainbows. Cedric had something. Cedric.
I was just thinking that if you lost at a game,
Yeah.
you gain some sort of like knowledge, or you gain some sort of skill. So every time, you think about it, when you lose something, and like how you were saying, maybe it's depression or something, and then you lost your happiness, but then you gain a new perspective.
Like the more you deal with negativity, is the more you become stronger at the core of who you are. I'm an optimist by nature, so it's like the underlying depression is like reinforced the opposite, even despite the entire situation. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
I do. It's always to pull to that other side.
Yeah, even without referencing certain things.
Yeah.
And the strength we get from living. One thing I know about everybody in this room, including me, is we're highly motivated and highly intelligent, or we'd be dead. I mean, for real. And we learn, if I can take a moment and step back and look at this thing that happened to me that was negative, how can I glean from it? How can I look at it and say, twist it and turn it and say, okay, I can get that little piece of good out of it. Let me build on that. Because that's where the strength comes from. Our strength comes from our tribulations. Ooh, big word. Can't spell it, but I can say it. So, but it is. Go ahead. You were going to say something?
No, I was being mean to you.
Mean to me. Pamela says, letting go, a choice.
And choice.
It is a choice. I always heard, when we're getting to the future and the past, if I have 1 foot in the future and 1 foot in the past, I'm pissing on today. If I have 1 foot out there where I'm only just, oh my God, if this happens, oh my gosh, if that happens, or maybe this is going to happen. If I'm always out there, I'm missing what I've got here. And like we were saying, if I go to the past, I go to that sore spot, that spot that I'm used to going to in my brain, it'll take me where I don't want to go. I want to be here today because I love each and every one of you, and I want to be present with you today. I want to hear you. I want to see you, and I want you to hear and see me too. And that's impossible when my head is in the future or my head is in the past. Yes, dear. Hold on 1 second.
I know somebody that very much lives in the future, and for literally everything, he is planning out how it's going to happen, what's going to turn out, what's going to be said, what they're going to ask, what he's going to say, what the outcome is, on and on. And so he just, so he doesn't go. He gets overwhelmed by all his thoughts, and then he ends up not even going. And I say to him a lot, if you don't try, nothing's going to happen. And if somebody says no, so what? They said no. What's it going to hurt to ask? And so he started taking little steps out.
Beautiful.
Everything's happening. And I'm like, he said, I didn't think I'd get that. They offered him a better job than what he applied for, because he does have a lot of skills. And so it's like, just trying to push him out the door. Just go do it. Just go so everything's going to go.
Give it a shot.
I got a question. Like, how is it that you can be expected to go on without being able to reference like one happy thought for your
I find what I seek. And that's the hard part, because my brain is used to going back to that sore spot. It's like if you got a bad tooth or a cut in your mouth, your tongue's always going toward. That's the way my brain works. It goes towards the negative, because think about it. Society says not how many did you get right on that paper, on that test. How many did you get wrong? That's what we look for, the negative. We're socialized. We're taught that from our family. And when I keep going back to that, it doesn't take me where I want to go. It takes from me.
I've got a follow-up.
Okay.
To follow up with. If something is down to a science
Mhm.
and you sift through it, you can do something miraculous
Mhm.
with certain things in life in terms of being able to rush on.
Mhm.
It's not fair for somebody to walk around like feeling depressed all the time and then not knowing that they're happy.
Yeah.
I'm happy, but I just don't know.
Yeah.
Walk around just being able to remember some foolishness.
I got to be able to identify what happy is too, because I wasn't familiar with happy, right? But because in my mind, I'd gone through this and this and this and this, and that's all I thought of when I went to my past.
Well, you're happy, but you're afraid to be happy because you know the other shoe's going to drop
Yeah.
or something, because we conditioned our brain like that. Who, am I the only one that does that? I'm afraid to be happy or look forward to something because it might not happen and I get my hopes up. But I only can treasure
Today,
today
this
and
moment.
the beautiful things that I will miss today because I'm worried here or I'm worried there.
It's just like, when you talk about you have to condition your brain to be happy, it's like during this time, just for me personally, Father's Day is it's hard for me, so I have to do everything I have to do in my mind, in my body and spirit to find that happy place. I have to be very intentional.
Mhm.
So one unique thing about the brain is that it never forgets.
No.
And that memory piece is so important. Because I heard someone say one time, you might forget what a person said to you, but you don't forget how they made you feel.
Yes.
And so situations and stuff like that, I carry in my mind as I live my life. I want to make sure that I love on people.
Yeah.
Because like you said, Sharon, I had to figure out what happy was.
Yeah.
I even had to figure out what love and belonging, what that felt like. Incorporate that in my life to know that I am somebody, that I do have feelings, and I am someone's child. You know what I mean? So I just encourage people to find that happy place, and it's gonna look different for everybody, but dig deep because if you see me this week, and if you see me, if I'm emotional, or if I'm just looking wild on faces, because this is a hard time for me. This is a rough. This is always that place where, during that time of the month, I have to do extra.
Yes.
I have to go outside of my box to do extra to keep my peace, so that I can be the best that I can be. And I won't stop doing it because it's my journey. So I just want to share that.
You're right. Go ahead.
Because you're not settling in this victim mentality. You're a victor. And we're all here for a reason.
Yep.
We're all sitting in here. That's my firm belief. And it's our choice that we're no longer going to be a victim of our past or whatever tomorrow brings or whatever today brings. We're the victor of everything that we are bringing today.
And that's such a good feeling.
It is.
It is.
Even though you're being susceptible to anything, like overcoming, that's an excellent achievement.
It is.
Yeah, everybody should be able to feel like it's just.
I like that, overcoming.
Yeah, it's a good feeling knowing that people can't keep you down.
And the more I go through, the stronger I get.
Yeah.
The more positive and negative things, not just the negative, but the positive too. My wellness, my recovery muscles build. And that's what I need on those shitty days, right? Because I need to understand I got a choice today. Let me choose something that benefits me. Because I know how to screw my life up, right? I know how to drink. I know how to show out. I got that down. I just need to learn a different way to be where my feet are, right?
It's far more pain in regret than it's pain in the discipline of it.
Mm-hmm.
And so it being negative and being sad is so contagious. You can't be around I can't be around behavior like that all the time. It just goes against my grain. So it's like what Cedric said, you've got to seek out where your sunshine is, where your happy is. That's one thing I love being around Sharon, because we get that hysterical laughing over some of the most
Ridiculous.
Sometimes we'll just be, so she came to my office yesterday and said something, and we just got laughing like.
Probably like hello. I mean, it's just, we're just gigglers.
But you've got to take that action and that discipline. Is this an easy process? Oh no. If it was, we wouldn't be here. We would be spreading sunshine and buttercups and rainbows all over the world. But you know, we are who we are. We've got the power of resilience and the power of choice.
I feel like when you dig in the past, all you do is rob.
Say that again. That's beautiful.
I feel when you look in the past, all you do is rob yourself.
Ooh.
You already know it's that, yo. Why go there?
That's a rerun. We don't change that channel. We don't like that rerun no more. That is, I love that. Did you guys that are listening audience hear that? That's great.
Pamela says, remember, misery loves company.
Yeah.
If you don't want that, can you read that? I can't.
Remember, misery loves misery. If you don't want that, we have to dig deep within ourselves, looking in the mirror at ourselves. Is that always easy to do? Sometimes it's hard to look in because we don't want to see that. But again, it's my favorite word in the whole world is choice. I get to decide my I am. I am today resilient. I am today power and a victor. It's my I am. Not going to be yours, but I have that choice. My I am is probably going to change 30, 40, 50 times before I go to bed at night. You can call me a lot of stuff. You may label me a lot of stuff. I don't have to answer to it.
Ooh. Just because you call me that doesn't mean I need to answer. We need John.
I hear what you're saying, it's great. But you know, through me, I have to learn how to love myself. I really did. All I had to say, you know, hey, you good, you trying. You know, instead of the negative things, well, you didn't do this, you didn't do that. And hey, that push you real. Or just saying, hey, you get through it. And I do.
Yeah.
And it just keeps going and going and going. But you don't stop and love yourself.
Yeah. I'm worthy of that today.
Yeah.
That's the cool thing. I am worthy.
I'm loving yourself.
Yeah.
You know, you love others, but do you too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know, it's like we protect. Let's think about your most favorite prized possession. Maybe it's a car or a belonging or your house. Do you protect that? You put locks and alarms and everything. That's what we need to do with our thoughts. We have to protect it. We can't you don't want to let anybody in your house and to steal and rob you. But we have alarm systems and locks and deadbolts. We don't want anybody coming in our house or coming around our place and take our stuff. We protect it. Let's protect ourselves, because I know every single one of us feels the same way John King does, that it's taken a while to look in the mirror and really love who we are. Some days it's easier than others. Some days you reflect on the past and it takes over you. But we can shift that, because that's not my I am today.
But that's okay if you want in those moments. I always heard, because I was one that shifted towards depression and just thinking about those negative things. I wish I knew what I was going to say.
You were saying you don't want to think about your negative depression.
Yeah. Yeah, it was about choice. It was about that daily choice of, do I want Oh, I know what I was going to say. Sometimes it's okay to be down. Don't not learn from that. Don't not experience that, right? I got to remember that some days it's okay for me to be down. I just don't want to stay there because it doesn't benefit me. I seek and I find. What I seek, I find, right?
Oh, well, we're in the valley. We don't have to pitch our tent there
Yeah.
and stay
Oh,
there.
good. I always heard that take 15 minutes a day to just get down into it. You know, set your alarm, get it right, and just sit there and just, oh my gosh. When the alarm goes off, be done.
Is that what your brain sounds
That's
like?
what my brain sounds like. And my stomach right now, actually.
Being able to feel is important too.
Yeah,
When there's something technical going on
yeah,
and you cannot feel the connection, sometimes connection, there is a problem.
yeah,
In addition to not being able to reference stuff like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Like,
sometimes
you can
that's
mess
the,
somebody up, man.
yeah,
Some miracle-
Yeah.
miracles happen. Miracles.
miracles do
Like, I'm
happen.
still standing.
That,
Yeah.
exactly. That's,
Yeah.
that's exactly. And that's my gift today, just to
Yeah.
see you do that.
Reference certain things and then you cannot feel. Like that's a recipe for a possible
Yeah.
disaster. Where it's not for the grace of God.
And sometimes we don't want to feel, but
Yeah.
that's something in our mechanism in our brain that's saying, I'm going to keep bringing this up until you feel it, acknowledge it, and then let it go. A lot of our trauma, I was reading something the other day, all the trauma that we keep and have as kids, until we learn to face it and grow from it or get help from it, it is still going to rear its head as it did with the kid, but differently as we are adults, because that's why we're all sitting in this room.
I love this topic. I love, like I said, because I'm not good at it.
Yeah.
And I need to learn how to be where my feet are, how to be present. Because like I said, I want to be with you. I want to be with you and I want you with me right here in this exact moment. Let's just be, to just be ourselves as much as we know what that looks like, right? To be in the present and be in a place that benefits me, if that makes sense.
I don't want my last interaction with anybody on this earth today that if something happened to them, that I'll regret what I did that day. Think of all the situations that's happened in our country today, that the last thing that a mom said to a child was, I've told you 1,000,000 times, get up, get out of this house, put your shoes on. And that's the last thing that they said to their child.
Yeah.
Whoops. I just
There you go. There you go. We want to be conscious.
Yeah.
We want to be conscious.
Yeah.
I want to, like you said, I want to leave you with something good.
Yeah.
I want you to leave me with something good, right? That's my goal today, to be.
Pull out that nugget, that puzzle. And one of the things that I ask in sometimes in interviews as a recruiter, part of my role here is, what is the legacy that you want to be known by? When that time comes and we're all talking memories and stuff, what is it that you want to, your footprint, what do you want to leave this world with?
Legacy.
Your legacy. I want people to remember the good things that I'm trying to put out there.
Mm-hmm.
So every day is my opportunity to leave that legacy. I leave it for my children, my family, my grandchildren, my work people. I want them to, that Bunny, she was always so positive and always so encouraging.
Mm-hmm.
That's my goal, because that's what I think that my plan, my higher power has put me down here to do.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's my I am this morning.
I am. I like that. I am. So we got to decide what we are today, what we're going to think, what we're going to choose. And it's not easy. It's not easy at all. It takes practice, 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 practice. Oh, we got JC on. He says, when I find it hard, I imagine the traumatized child I used to be sitting on my lap.
Oh, wow.
I still have him with me and I'm protecting him, but I'm still able to be in the present where my feet are.
That's
Yeah.
beautiful, beautiful.
You know how people always say you have to nurture your inner child?
Mhm.
Somehow that analogy doesn't fit well with me.
Yeah. Well, see, that's the cool thing about recovery. This works for me. It may not work for you. And something else works for you. And that's the beautiful thing. I can share something with Bunny. This really helped me. And she might be, well, that wouldn't work for me because this, and this. And that's great. We all find our path. We all stand in our presence, right? And try to do the next right thing. Try to do the next right thing. All right. Yes, sir.
I think it's all about being around positive people.
Mhm.
Amen.
You know, if you're around positive people, you're gonna have PPP. You know, positive bring power.
Yes.
Oh, it is.
Yes.
You know, just like Saturday, when I feed the homeless, me and Mr. James, I see him all the time. And I was telling Mr. James, I said, look, my homeboy came back and want me to go to the hood. What? I know it's in the hood. What I'm going back there for? I'm going back to Matthews.
Mm-hmm. That goes back to I know how to drink. I don't need that. Definitely. Pamela says, learn from each other's stories. Learn from each other's stories. Okay. Learn from each other's stories. You have a nugget in your life that I need. Part of your story will help me, and vice versa. When we share these things, it allows us to lift each other up so we can be where our feet are.
Just listen to what we've heard in here today. To me, it just rejuvenates.
Yes. Chills. I love doing class. I love doing what's cold in here. So yeah, Fred.
They can remember sin.
Yeah.
Our life need to be our life too.
Yeah. Our life.
Yeah.
Use that story. Use that story.
Because we never know what seed we're planting in somebody.
Yeah.
We may be the one person that paid attention to them
Yeah.
that day. And that's the one thing that sticks with them. And the decisions that they were going to make today because we interacted with them. No judgment. You're human and we love you.
Mm-hmm.
And that can change. That's what we need to spread around our world today, because we'll take over, because that's where.
That's right. And we're going to take over the world, aren't we? See, the beeping lets us know that we're going to take over. We have no idea what that beeping is. I know it happens like 2 or 3 times during our classes.
Well, anything else you want to bring to this beautiful, well, we appreciate you coming to sit with us.
The wisdom y'all have brought, we want to thank you for this. That's right. That's right. I want to thank my friends out there, our friends in Chatland. Yes, sorry.
Pretty much what I was trying to leave behind, just remain humble. So, just for people to remember me by something wasn't God forbid, but then I was humble.
And you are.
You know, I had a good legacy.
And that's beautiful, because that's what helps me be humble.
Right.
Your example
Right.
helps me want that.
Right.
And then by what you do, if I want what you've got, I do what you do.
Right. Sometimes you start feeling it's like
Yeah.
it's all
Yeah.
you know, that could change a person's
Absolutely.
Let's appreciate what we have now.
Yes.
And because that's all we got.
Yep.
Right.
You know, we have enough grace for today,
Mm.
and we'll get that same amount tomorrow. But let's use what we have today and not save it up.
And we only have, we only have 24 hours,
Right.
right? Even if it's a shitty day, you can get through 24 hours. Come on. Think about all the things we have been through. Even on bad days, we can get through because we've been through worse. And we have survived 100%, which means we're successful, right? So, ooh, I love this stuff.
All right.
Okay.
She's our I am today.
Yes. Aha, thank you. Let me tell you about 3 things. First thing is the warm line. I want to let you know we've got a 24/7, 365 telephone call away from people that know how to hear and see us, right? We've got peer support specialists that are trained specifically to hear you and to give resources and to be able to just allow us to be who we are in that moment, right? Call us. I always say, if it's 3 o'clock on Sunday afternoon and your mama's on your nerves, call us. If it's 3 o'clock, 3 a.m. on Wednesday morning and this is kicking, call us. We're there 24/7. We're just a phone call away. Second thing, go to our, I was like, what's the second thing? Go to our website, www.promiseresourcenetwork.com, and take our survey. We really want to know how we can be better. Let us know how we can do what we do to help you more. And the last thing is, if you like this class, share it. Share it on your Facebook page. Share it with your friends. Send it out there. We've got to change the world. And we do that one person at a time. All right. I want to thank Bunny. I want to thank my folks out there in computer land. Thank you. I was stuck. And again, I want to thank the wisdom of the group. I appreciate you all. Oh, I didn't give the number. The number for the warm line is 833-390-7728. You'll find it on our Facebook page and our website. Y'all go out there, keep peace, share love, and have a good Tuesday.